We had planned a weekend trip to Catalina Island and discovered that we would be able to stay at the Queen Mary Hotel the night before our trip to Catalina. So we did book a 2-night stay, and we were very excited to stay at a historic monument such as the Queen Mary and to continue to discover the different things that we had seen on prior visits. There are many, many things on exhibit throughout the hotel hallways and the hotel lobby. There are shops, bars, and restaurants. When we checked in, we were greeted with pleasant hotel staff and we were offered a free glass of champagne. That was a very nice treat. Then we went directly to our room. We stayed on the A level and we did upgrade to a king room. So that is just a standard room with a king size bed. And as you can see here, the hotel is very historic. It is a working hotel, but it is a historic hotel. It is 90 years old and it does not have all the bells and whistles of the current modern hotels. It is very well stocked and it is very comfortable. The beds were very comfortable. The amenities, such as just your basic bathroom, a very large bathtub, of course, everything that you could need from a basic hotel stay, but keeping in mind that this is a historic monument, is what I say. So, the way the Queen Mary came about in 1929, Cunard Line decided or started talking about building and having a cruise ship. They were starting to design and plan ocean liners to replace the um, superliners that they already had in route. And so they were talking about what the next steps would be for that process. So, one thing interesting about the bathroom, the original options for the shower and the bathtub were clean salt water, hot and cold, or regular unsalted water, hot and cold. It was believed that the salt water was therapeutic, and so it was an amenity that was included, and people would use the salt water for bathing. So you'll see in the video there are four nozzles. The water does come out of those now, but only the fresh water is coming out. Only those two nozzles are working. The other salt water is not functional. There's not an option for salt water anymore. So, some interesting facts about the Queen Mary. She had 1,001 transatlantic crossings. She was commissioned by Cunard Steamship Company. Her keel was laid December 1st, 1930. She was launched September 26th, 1934. Her maiden voyage was May 27th, 1936. There are over 2,000 portholes, and you will notice in this room tour that the portholes in the room are functional. You can open the portholes and have the fresh air. Now, remember, this is a historic hotel, so there is not central air or central heat. You will see, as you see in that shot, a fan, but that fan is not functional. There is a ventilation system in the hotel rooms, and it does keep the air fresh. But again, you can keep the portholes open. You can also call to the front desk if you need more bedding, or a functioning fan for your room. We found it to be very comfortable. We visited in July, so it was summer, but it wasn't overly hot. There is additional bedding in the room. There is an ironing board and an iron. There are very limited outlets. Now, below this cabinet here, there is also a writing desk. So if you wanted to act like you're writing a letter home, you could sit at the writing desk and write a letter at the writing desk. So here are some more facts. The gross tonnage is 81,237 gross tons. There are over 10 million rivets. I did see online that they have a project going on now that you can adopt a rivet, and so you pay a certain donation and then you can adopt a rivet. Here we are on the promenade deck, and on the promenade deck it's really cool because there are a lot of historic photos, and there is some more information about movies that were shot on the Queen Mary, and it talks about the different stars that were on board for the movies, and then also they have a lot of other photographs of famous people that have been on the Queen Mary. So back to the facts. There's over 10 million rivets. The overall length is 1,019.5 feet. The height from keel to forward smokestack, 181 feet. There are 12 decks. The passenger capacity is 1,957. I was surprised to read there's over 300 rooms. So if you wanted to stay on the Queen Mary, you would have quite a few rooms to choose from, including the King Standard Room. There is a haunted room, B340, I believe. There are some suites available. So you would have something like a full suite, which sleeps up to 6 people, a mini suite, which sleeps up to 4 people, deluxe standard, which sleeps 2 people, family stateroom, which, let's see, sleeps up to 4, standard stateroom sleeps up to 2, and then they have ADA accessible. And at one point, I did see where you can book the haunted room online. But if you don't see it, give them a call. So the in-room amenities are listed as historic stateroom, Wi-Fi internet, hairdryer, ironing board and iron, private bathrooms with luxury bath amenities. They do include shampoo, conditioner, shower gel, and hand soap and lotion. There is a safe deposit box. There is a safe deposit box available at the front desk. If you just go there, you can go ahead and use the safe deposit box. Of course, typical disclosure: they cannot be responsible for items not deposited in the safe. This is a historic landmark, and you will see rare and vintage crafted woodwork. So it does warn you the walls are very thin and without the rumble of the engines that would typically be happening if the ship was underway. You want to be aware that the walls are very thin and earplugs are available at the front desk for your convenience. I did not notice any like loud noises and stuff. I did see this party ship, which was very loud out on the harbor, but we had the portholes open and my husband slept right through it. I was awake just looking out the window. I don't think it would have woken me up. The Queen Mary is 100% non-smoking. No open flames or burning of anything of any kind is allowed on board the ship. And that includes candles, incense, cigarettes, cigars, vaping devices, and you will be assessed a fine if you do that on board. So I will include a link down below because there is a lot to know about the Queen Mary. Let's touch on the other things. There is a sports deck, a promenade deck, the M deck, the A deck, the R deck, the D deck. You can take guided tours or a self-guided tour. You will see many exhibits, including an exhibit called Their Finest Hours. This is about Winston Churchill and the Queen Mary, the Cunard story with historic exhibits. Now, there are a number of bars and restaurants. I'm trying to find the list. Here we go. Midship Marketplace for grab and go. Promenade Cafe, which has a delicious breakfast, and they also serve lunch and dinner. The Chelsea Chowder House and Bar, the Observation Bar, and the Royal Sunday Brunch. So if you're interested in any of those, you would want to check online, verify the hours, and then verify if a reservation is required. If you are staying at the hotel, you may walk into the restaurants. You do not need a reservation. Here we are walking along the promenade deck on the harbor side at nighttime, and that was very cool, and it was so beautiful to see the Long Beach harbor. Actually, this might be on the port side because I see the dome over there, and that actually is the dome where the cruise ship boarding is. There's a lot of construction going on in the area, so again, I will put a link to the website below in the description, and that way you will be able to see the correct information on the website for the Queen Mary. There is also options to have meetings, weddings, social events. You can book your event on the Queen Mary. There are also live bands that will play on the Queen Mary. They have other special events. You can check on their website for the calendar. And let's see what else. Nearby attractions, we did also visit the Aquarium of the Pacific, which is across the harbor, just a quick drive over the bridge. The hotel at this time does not have any shuttle service. We did have trouble having the Uber app load, so if you need to arrange transportation, make sure that the Uber app is working for you, or you can probably call a taxi or another type of ride service. There is parking on site. There is a fee for the parking as well as hotel guests parking. So you want to be aware of that. But definitely I recommend the Queen Mary. I believe you would enjoy